My name Detective Larry. I take missing person case at Fern Hills Nursing Home.
Oh, Detective Larry, I didn't hear you come in. Would you like a cup of coffee?
Da.
A little sweetener?
Niet.
You understand that we want to keep this very confidential. We don't want to upset Mrs. Leslie's family.
Family does not know?
Well, they paid for the whole month. We don't want to upset them.
Who else knows woman is missing?
I haven't told anyone. The only person on our staff that knows that Mrs. Leslie is not in a room.
Who?
Chaz Grant, but he is no longer with us. I had to terminate him due to his negligence in letting Mrs. Leslie get away. I'm so worried about Mrs. Leslie. She doesn't have her medications with her.
Medicine. She is sick? Lunaticski.
She's so sweet and friendly.
She unlocks dope. How she be friendly?
But we're all so sweet and friendly when we're properly medicated. Didn't your mother teach you that?
I go to doctor office who prescribes dope for Mrs. Leslie. Hello, doctor. I need know what dopes you give escaped lunatic Mrs. Leslie. Hello?
Yes, Mrs. Leslie. Yes, she was taking Thorazine, Percodan, lithium, and chestnut herb tea for her varicose veins.
That not Mrs. Leslie's file.
Oh, so it isn't. Yeah. Oh, yes. She was taking Thorazine, Percodan, lithium, and St. John's wort for her depression.
You choose the wrong file again.
Thorazine, Percodan, lithium, and licorice root for her hemorrhoids.
Doctor, it's important to find correct file.
It really doesn't matter. They all take the same thing. They all take Thorazine, Percodan, lithium. Well, it does vary as to which herbal tea they take. You're asking me specifically? I can't keep track of all this. I mean, we don't have time here for details. I'm on a bowling league. I need to practice. My average is down, and this is going to take very long.
I think doctor too busy with bowling league, so I go visit orderly Chaz Grant to ask him what happened to Mrs. Leslie.
So on that particular Tuesday, we have to take everybody out of the beds if they're not able to get themselves out of bed. We have to, kind of hoist them into a wheelchair, and we just have them sit in the hallway while we change all the plastic covers, which we then launder in bleach. Anyway, Mrs. Leslie had always convinced us that she was an invalid, that she couldn't walk. We were constantly having to carry her, everywhere, to the TV room, to the ping pong room, to the crafts room, to the cafeteria. She was very adamantly against wheelchairs. She said that, ever since her father had polio and he was in a wheelchair, that one wheel rusted and he couldn't get out of the way of a moving train or something like that, and she just would not say. We put her, she's like, she'd just scream at the top of her lungs, anytime we even brought a wheelchair into the room. It was like, So we started to have to leave her in the linen closet in the lazy boy. I know how that sounds, but it's a very large linen closet. Had these huge windows. I'm not really sure why we made that the linen closet with such big. It should have been somebody's room, but. And then the next morning, I go in there to get her after I've changed the bed cover, and she's gone, and the window's wide open, and it's on the 3rd floor. I mean, she tied the linens together into a rope, threw it over the side, scaled down the building, and disappeared. I mean, the woman's 87 years old. She said she had a hip replacement. She's a liar. Well, after an exhaustive search of the grounds, which basically included the facility, the parking lot, and the above-ground pool in the back, I went to my supervisor, Chantal, and I said to her, Mrs. Leslie is not in her lazy boy in the linen closet. And she said, what did you say? And I said, Mrs. Leslie is not in her lazy boy in the linen closet. And she said, where did she go? And I said, I believe she tied a rope with some sheets and scaled out of the window and ran away. And she said, why would someone want to escape from Fern Hills? And I said, I don't know, maybe it's because we put her in the linen closet when we changed the plastic bed sheets on Tuesday. Well, her face got real sour after that.
I visit the Russian psychic who tells me she see in crystal ball that old woman looking like Mrs. Leslie is fooling around Grand Central Station, so I go there. Aha! After long chase, I take rest at top of stairs for 9th floor before I find door for talent agent. Have you ever seen woman name of Mrs. Leslie?
Have I seen Mrs. Leslie? Mrs. Leslie came to me. She brought me this. This is her idea of a headshot. First of all, this is a portrait of a Native American woman and child, and I'm not Mrs. Leslie. This is not Mrs. Leslie, but this is what she wrote on back here. Mrs. Leslie, good actress. So I said, this is not a headshot. These are headshots. Look at these people. I want to help them. I got in this business to help people. And would you like a drink?
Нет.
And so she came back. She brought me this. She told me that the reason she brought me this was because she had played the 11th night in Shakespeare's 12th Night. Now, what am I supposed to do with that information? So I said to her again, Mrs. Leslie, I need a headshot. So what did she send me? She sent me this. The only thing this girl and Mrs. Leslie have in common is that they're both Caucasian and they both wear glasses. But really, this is just, I just want to have a cigarette. But nowadays you can't even smoke in your own damn office anymore. I have to go outside and stand in the rain and the cold with all the other poor schlubs having a cigarette in the front of the building. And they don't want us to stand there either because the smoke comes in the lobby. I mean, if I have my own office, I'm paying rent here, I should be able to smoke in my own damn office. Are you sure you don't want a drink?
No drinking on job. Talent agent, tell me where Mrs. Leslie is living.
All right, Mr. DeMille. I'm ready for my close-up.
Mrs. Leslie, I come to take you back to Fern Hills.
Mrs. Leslie is not in her lazy boy in the linen closet. I went to my supervisor, Chantal, and I told
You know, I can see Russia from my window.